Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, members of the press. I say a big welcome to you to Baywood Foundation today. This is a press release by Baywood Foundation demanding for 30% affirmative action for young people. The events of the past 2 weeks has led us to push forward this thing. We've been on it for a long time. For the past 10 years, Baywood Foundation has been clamoring for this, but I think it's high time we move it to the next level, as the events of the past 2 weeks have shown us that if this is not done, the likelihood that this great demography will lead us to something we might not plan is very possible. So I'll take the press release. Over the past 2 weeks, Baywood Foundation has watched with apprehension the protests and unfortunate events that unfolded. Baywood Foundation is deeply saddened by the colossal cost in terms of loss of lives and properties, as well as the astronomical blow to our already collapsing economy. Baywood Foundation expresses our sympathy and commiserates with the families of the victims of the EndSARS protests in Nigeria and the law enforcement agents that lost their lives in the course of the events. We condemn the violence that has characterized the protest in the recent days and sympathize with the innocent citizens and businesses whose properties have been destroyed, houses and vehicles burnt, and shops looted. All this could have been averted if government had paid attention to some of the initiatives which Baywood Foundation, through its founder, Emperor Chris Baywood Ibe, has proposed. Baywood Foundation has been a key force and a principal champion for investment on youths and political voices in Nigeria and Africa. With a track record of significant contribution to the socio-economic development of this huge demography, Baywood Foundation is also renowned for youth-oriented initiatives which have positively impacted on young people in Nigeria. Very prominent is our 30% affirmative action for youth and our Intern and Retain initiative. We are at the vanguard of stakeholders' resonant programs which have significantly impacted on the development of youth in Nigeria, driving affirmative action for investment in youth to reposition them for greater relevance in the socio-political arena. One of our youth-oriented initiatives culminated in the first line of research publication titled Beyond Rhetorics: Youth Empowerment and Political Voice in Nigeria. The book takes a holistic view into what obtains in the areas of youth empowerment in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria towards driving youth political participation, and led to the launching of the Baywood Foundation initiative for 30% affirmative action. As part of achieving this affirmative action, Baywood Foundation has engaged key stakeholders across broad-ranging demographics in Nigeria, mobilizing youths, supporting and funding relevant initiatives geared at both relevance, inclusivity, empowerment, and political participation. Our partnership with the African Union, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, West African Network for Peace Building, ONEP, has further amplified our efforts on driving affirmative action for youth in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Very important to note is that the EndSARS protest has been an after effect and offshoot of the frustration, lack of trust in political institutions, and bad governance. Many of our youths have become toys under the elderly politicians, participating in dangerous political vices such as kidnapping, thuggery, election rigging, and so on. And this has drastically impacted negatively on the quality of our democratic governance. This sad occurrence, the violence and wreckages that have precipitated the EndSARS protest could have been averted if federal government had ensured robust youth representation while creating opportunities for them to design the future they desire through effective political participation and engagement. Baywood Foundation recognizes youth as a positive force for transformative social change and can be a creative force, a dynamic source of innovation when opportune to participate in the decision-making process. They have undoubtedly, throughout history, contributed and even catalyzed important changes in political system, thus boosting effective development in the society. We therefore use this medium to call on the government at all levels to take action and adopt and legislate our Baywood Foundation initiative as a panacea for ending youth agitation and rebuilding the trust in the public institutions. We call on the government as a matter of urgency to proclaim and implement a 30% affirmative action for youth inclusion in governance and leadership positions in our country. We say, I will take it again, we call on government as a matter of urgency to proclaim and implement a 30% affirmative action for youth inclusion in governance and leadership positions in our country. This has to be transparent, respectful, and accountable, as it will cause a significant change that will drive development in the country. The engagement and inclusion of youth in formal policy, governance, and politics will provide a platform for effective civic participation that will create opportunities for fresh ideas and new leadership that can help overcome the problem of bad governance. We also call on the government at all levels, including private and public business establishments, to adopt the Intern and Retain initiative aimed at creating opportunity for young people, not just to secure jobs, but to use their mind and dexterity to take full advantage of the technological opportunities to advance development. And this is also an opportunity for them to define their own lives. This can be achieved through the establishment of technical hubs, agro-based tech hubs, enterprise schemes for skills advancement, and so on. If we, through the Intern program, properly invest, educate, nurture, and tap into the intellect and energy of the youth, we will be astonished at how fast young people can develop our country. An example of this kind of development we will see in the apprenticeship that is practiced in the Southeast. Even though it is small in development, but it is very impactful. It tells you how it begins. A young boy joins a business as an apprentice, does some level of stewardship for his boss. At the end of the 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years period, the boss settles the young boy. They start a business sometimes together. Sometimes the boy starts alone on his own. And in the next 5, 6 years, you see the boy growing to also take some level of apprenticeship. So if we begin to do the same thing for our young people, where as a legislator, you are representing Isuzu House of Assembly or whichever local government, 1 or 2 young boys come under your tutelage and they begin to learn the ropes. By the time you're completing your 4 years, the 4 young men under your tutelage are well positioned to practically impact on lives, even if they don't become House of Assembly members. What they have learned, they can put into practice to advance governance in other spheres that they find themselves in. It's also important that this should help them, assuming they end up becoming the legislator. It is no longer a new legislator who is learning the rope. By that 4 years apprenticeship, he has mastered the art. Baywood Foundation also calls on government to adopt our Intern and Retain initiative aimed at creating opportunity for effective leadership, political leadership transition. This will consolidate learning and capacity building for the youth to lead and participate in political process, thus bridging the gap in terms of leadership handover. Once again, to the family of those who have lost their lives during the EndSARS protest, we express our sincere condolence. They have fought a good fight for the change they desire, and posterity shall always hold good memories of their patriotism and activism. Long live the Nigerian youths. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Baywood Foundation position. Thank you so much.